Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Well, the world is a mess right now. Everywhere, just about. It's really bad. Things are looking ugly right now. As we all know, there's wars are escalating, it seems, in the Middle East, for sure. What's going on now, first it was between Israel and Gaza, and now we're seeing Israel against Iran, and they're fighting each other. And just earlier today, the president here made a statement. He said everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. My first thought when I heard that was, what, someone's about to drop a nuclear bomb on Tehran? Is that what that means? It could be. I don't know. Whether it's the United States or Israel itself. Israel has nuclear bombs. I don't know. And then, of course, we have the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and with Russia. And Russia, they're fighting each other still. That's not over with. And they're just the whole world is a mess right now. Right here in this country, things are a lot of political upheaval right now. A lot of people upset about a lot of different things. Things are bad, but we are, it seems, seemingly on the brink of a nuclear war. I mean, this happens every once in a while, every 10 years or so. There's always a major threat. I remember after 9/11, I felt like this could be World War III. There was a war, as we all know, but that was bad. It was a bad war. No nuclear bombs were used. No nuclear missiles were launched. But is that going to happen this time? Will somebody fire a nuclear missile at some city in the Middle East, like Tehran? Is that possible? It might be. And I guess the big question I have is, will this NHI presence, will it intervene? Will it try to prevent it, based on what has happened in the past? I mean, if we talked just recently again about the 1967 Malmstrom incident, which the government, actually a former government official, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, told lies about that, said that that incident in 1967 didn't involve a UFO shutting down the missiles at Malmstrom, 10 missiles. No, it wasn't that. According to Kirkpatrick, it was they were testing some new electromagnetic device, and that's what shut them down. And they didn't tell the people working there. That was what he said. But of course, there was a lot of backlash to that, including some of the witnesses have stepped forward, like Robert Solis, who was there, and said that is not the case. We went over this in a different episode, previous episode. So you wonder, and there was also the case in the former USSR where missiles were activated, nuclear missiles were activated by a UFO. So they're able to deactivate them or activate them. They've shown this before, and you have to wonder what would happen if somebody, like say Israel, aims one of its nuclear missiles at Tehran and hits the go button. What happens? Is there going to be any sort of interaction by this alien presence that's here that seems to be very interested in our planet? I guess we'll see if it does happen. If we go there, if somebody decides to finally press that button and we have a nuclear holocaust on our hands, let's see if there's any intervention by this presence that is here that seems to be very interested in our planet. Maybe they're not so much interested in us as they are in the planet, and maybe they will try to prevent that. I don't know. I'm sure that they're paying attention to the hostilities that are ongoing in this world. I mean, this is outrageous. This is out of control. People are out of control. Leaders are out of control. People are just the warmongers responsible for this are beyond control. It's out of control. It has to stop. We need to scale this back. It needs to stop. But I don't know if it's gonna. It seems like it's getting worse all the time. And I guess, again, I wonder what's going to happen should someone finally decide to launch a nuclear missile. Is there going to be an intervention? I guess we'll find out if it happens. I just wanted to point that out because, I think if you're a member, just as a member of the human race as a whole, I mean, you have to look at all of this stuff that's been ongoing here, the violence, the hatred, all of it, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We're smarter than this. The human race should be smarter than this. This is absolutely absurd where we are right now. Totally absurd. I don't understand the hatred. I don't understand the politics. I don't understand why it seems like billionaires need more tax cuts. I don't understand that part, where while the little guy gets nothing. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. It just all it is about power and money. That's what it seems. That's what drives this human race. Like, you would think that we would have this figured out by this point after the wars we have endured, but we didn't. It seems like we don't learn any lessons. We just continue to be bad. All of us. It's all of us are responsible for this. I'm talking about the human race as a whole. I mean, if there is something here, right? Whatever they're doing here, we really can't say for sure. Maybe they're up to no good. Maybe they're up to good. I don't know. Maybe that's indifference. Whatever the case, right? What they would see here, right, would be totally embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. That's what it is. It's totally embarrassing. But it would be interesting to see what would happen if somebody does launch a nuclear missile, which might happen. It would be interesting to see if this presence here intervenes and tries to prevent it, and that might be what leads to final disclosure. That might bring us to the end game with regard to this presence on the planet. You think about the Ariel school incident in 1994. They showed up there. Aliens showed up at that school. There's no question about that case. That incident really happened. There's no doubt. Over 60 little elementary school kids were witnesses during a 10:30 in the morning a.m. Recess, while all the teachers were inside the school having a teachers conference. All the kids were out in the back of the school playing, and all of a sudden a flying saucer shows up. Alien creatures exit the flying saucer. One of the creatures communicates telepathically with the kids and basically gives them a message that technology is bad. And it could lead to destruction. Basically, that's what the message was. And they were shown scenes of destruction in their heads by these creatures, these little gray creatures that showed up. That was potentially a warning that technology is bad, and the technology we have right now, all these nuclear weapons. I mean, it's estimated that Israel has between like 25 to over 100 nuclear weapons, and are going to start using them in their battles. To try to end their battles more quickly by killing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people all at the same time. Maybe they might try it, and then you have to wonder: is the presence here? Are they concerned about that? Would they try to stop it? Would they intervene? It's a serious question, because there is something really here, despite the fact that the governments of the world still won't talk about this. They know, a lot of them do know that there's something here. And I guess they're probably uncertain of what these creatures would do in the event of something like this. They're probably, at this point, they're uncertain. I mean, just think about it. They show up, in force, seemingly, shortly after the end of World War II, shortly after atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. By 1946, people were talking about ghost rockets flying over Sweden, and then by 1947, there was a full-blown UFO flap, full-blown UFO flap, and it's never stopped. I mean, thousands and thousands of reports just in 1947 alone, and it's ever since then it's not stopped. People have seen these things. People have encountered the pilots. People have been abducted by them. Cows get mutilated by them, and they've been here the whole time. And here you have to wonder, are they paying attention to what's going on in this crazy world right now? I would have to imagine that they are, and they probably see that things could really get out of control at any moment right now. And I guess we're going to find out if they do get really out of control and nuclear missiles are in the air. Are they going to do anything about it, or are they just going to let us destroy ourselves? I guess we'll see. We'll see. And there's a lot of people out there, just so you know, that still refuse to believe this. And some of them, I'm not sure if they're lying. Like I always say this, I don't know if a lot of these people they're smart people, but they're not accepting this reality that there is something here. And I always wonder, are they stupid or lying? It's because it's either A or B. They have either A, they're stupid in that they haven't done any research in this. They just they fell for the stigma, the farcical points that people have made over the years about this phenomena, and they just don't accept it. Or they're just lying. They're just lying. They do know about it, but for whatever reason they're lying. And we're going to talk about something to that effect right now. In fact, there was an article just yesterday and it was a Fox News Digital article, and it was a former NASA agent who basically says people who believe that there's an alien presence here are crazy, that there's no way it's possible. That's what this person's saying. A long-time government official who did do some work with NASA, and now he's retired and he's making these kinds of statements. And we're going to talk about that. Here's an article on Fox News Digital. The headline reads, UFO cover used by government to hide a lot of things, former NASA agent says. And the article begins, it says, in an era captivated by unidentified flying objects and government conspiracies, one former NASA official is cutting through the noise and casting doubt on aliens coming to Earth. Joseph Gutheinz, a retired senior special agent with NASA's Office of Inspector General and current criminal defense attorney, said it's time to apply science, not speculation, to the debate. Prove it, honestly, prove it, he said to those who believe in the presence of UFOs on Earth. Well, not only is there a presence of UFOs on Earth, Mr. Gutheinz, but there's also evidence, absolute proof now that we have, that you're completely unaware of, I'm assuming, of that there's non-human intelligent beings here with us too. There's no question about it. And I find it funny, this was an article on Fox News Digital. Fox News Digital was one of the only mainstream outlets where Scott Roeder and I were able to get the story out. And there was a series of stories that were written by Chris Eberhardt with Fox News Digital. Now this was written by someone else. But this guy obviously is unaware of that story, as are there's a lot of people. It went over a lot of people's heads, I believe. A lot of people don't realize and didn't realize at the time the significance of the information in those articles, obviously. And this guy probably has no idea about it whatsoever. So we'll have to discuss what proof we do have a little bit. I mean, there's no point in getting into all of it right now. But when we get done here with this article, I will talk about the proof that we do have a little bit. Anyway, he goes on to say, they've been claiming that there have been UFOs since the 1940s. And, Area 51 supposedly houses UFOs, he told Fox News Digital. Have someone go in, look at Area 51. Gutheinz said that during his work with the NASA Office of Inspector General, he would regularly get calls from individuals who believed they were abducted or had a chip in their brain from aliens. Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, what I used to tell my students was the possibility of anybody coming from another world to visit us was beyond unlikely, he said. And what I would tell the people that would call me up with these tales about being visited by aliens, see a psychiatrist. So basically he's stating that anyone who said they saw an alien or had an encounter with an alien, they need to go see a psychiatrist because it can't be true because this guy doesn't believe it, basically. There are up to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. There are maybe 1 to 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, but the reality is this. The closest solar system is Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri A, B, and Proxima Centauri are the closest stars, he said. The bottom line is that it's 4.4 light years away or 25 trillion miles away, and if somebody started flying to Proxima and Centauri, or the other way around, it would take them over 70,000 years to get there, he said. Nobody is visiting us from another world, likely. Okay, so this is this dumb old argument. We've heard this dumb old argument. How many times have we heard this stupid, ignorant, dumb argument? I mean, how long have we been flying? Since the early 1900s, right? It's only over 100 years since we've been flying, right? This guy doesn't seem to understand. There's no imagination here whatsoever. Obviously, in another 1,000 years, I'm sure that we're going to be able to figure some things out by that point. We'll figure out how maybe it would be possible to traverse those great distances. Obviously, if there's something here that's not human and that did not originate here, obviously they figured out some way to get here from wherever they came. And we have the evidence that shows that there's something here. There's no question about it. The question I have, and a lot of people have, is where exactly did they come from? I believe that they came from other planets, as do a lot of people who research this subject. We believe that they're coming from other worlds. And you talk to a lot of UFO researchers, Preston Dennett, Richard Dolan, a lot of them will tell you that they believe that they're coming from other planets. I believe that they're coming from other planets. Now, other people will tell you they're coming from other dimensions. Other people will tell you, well, they must have been here the whole time. Well, whatever, right? But right now, there is something here that nobody really knew about. Nobody was really talking about 100 years ago or longer, right? Nobody was really talking about this kind of stuff, and now we are talking about it since what since the late 1940s, people are talking about UFOs and the alien occupants. People have thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions of people have encountered these creatures, right? Millions upon millions of people have seen UFOs over the last 80 years. So something's here, and I believe that they came from another planet. But hey, that could maybe they didn't. But the fact of the matter is, there is something here that's not human, right? And they are intelligent, and they obviously seem to have technology that exceeds anything that we have. But this guy, like a lot of people you hear arguing against this, they'll make this stupid argument like, well, how do you know what we're going to be able to figure out as we advance technologically over the next 500, 1,000, 10,000 years? Well, I'm sure we're going to figure some things out that you guys haven't thought of yet. The scientists of the world. This guy's a smart guy, by the way. Before we continue, I just want to pull up just a little bit of his Wikipedia page here. He's an American attorney, college instructor, commissioner, writer, and former Army intelligence officer, Army aviator, and federal law enforcement officer. He is known as the founder of the Moon Rock Project, which aims to track down missing Apollo moon rock samples. This guy's no dummy. He's a smart guy, right? He's done a lot of different things, but yet he's making statements like this to Fox News Digital. Anyway, let's continue here. He says he pointed to moons like Europa, Ganymede, Titan, and Triton as the only plausible places for primitive life in our solar system. If there is life on any of those moons, it's possible. Again, it is primitive. It is microorganisms. It's nothing that's going to visit us in a flying saucer. When asked whether such sightings could be explained as natural or spiritual phenomena, he suggested that it could be government testing. If you're seeing something up there and it's real, it's coming from the Chinese or the Russians or your next door neighbor flying around with their drone, he said. Historical military secrecy, Gutheinz suggested, may have played a major role in fostering the UFO myths. Yeah, and this is the new one. This is the new one that they're trying to, lay down on, insert into the consciousness of everyone, of the public. They're trying to, the government, right? As we all know, lately they've been stating, "Oh yeah, we were testing our own stuff, but we never told anybody." That's basically the new one that they're trying to pawn off. Anyway, here's this quote. He says, "I believe early on in the 1940s when all these UFO stories started coming up, it was because the military was probably testing some aircraft and they didn't want the Russians to know about it," he said. That's BS too. This is obviously this guy, to me, right, if he had a choice, again, stupid or lying, I think this guy's lying, right? I don't believe a guy in his position would make statements like this. I can't imagine someone of intelligence and someone who was working at NASA for, in a position like he had, would be making stupid statements like this. I just don't believe it. It's like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I can't believe he doesn't know that there's something here. I think that there's certain people that are lying to the public in service to the government. They're part of the cover-up, I believe, and I believe this guy's part of it. I can't prove that. He could be stupid. It's either one or the other, right? I just think he's lying, right? Some people out there might think he's stupid. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's either A or B, right? Anyway, continuing here, he says, "And so, if the UFO cover worked, and I would not be surprised if there are some people in the military and the government that played along with that in order to conceal our stealth technology, that is really remarkable, and they just don't want to share that with other countries. The bottom line is, I think that we use the UFO cover to hide a lot of things." So basically, this is the kinds of stuff this guy's saying. And he wants to prove it. Okay, early on in this article, he says, "I'll prove it. Honestly, prove it." Okay, let's prove it. I've already proved it on this show, and I'll just give a brief little synopsis to this guy, to Mr. Gutheinz. Basically, what happened here, in the late hours of April 30th, 2023, there was an object that was seen falling from the sky. It was captured on multiple video sources. One of the it was captured on a ring camera where you could act this object, whatever it was. Some people were saying it was a meteor, but obviously it could not have been. This thing was making a sound as it fell to the ground. It was filmed by a robo-taxi owned by Amazon, and it was filmed in infrared. And under infrared, it gave off no heat signature. It was invisible under the infrared, so that means it had no heat signature. So whatever this object was, it wasn't a meteor, and we know where this object came down. It landed in the backyard of a Las Vegas family of 4. Right, and then that Las Vegas family of 4. Next thing they knew, they were encountering these 8 to 10 foot tall alien beings, and they were running around their backyard. And they actually managed to film some of this action for about 1 minute and 41 seconds, and they captured aliens in that video. The video was examined by a crime scene reconstruction expert with over 30 years experience, Scott Roeder, and him and his team determined that the video was not fake. It wasn't altered in any way with CGI or special effects, and that the creatures that we see in the video were actually there, just like the family stated. That's proof to me. There's the proof that the guy wants. He wants proof of aliens. Well, there you go, buddy. And there's a lot more to this story. I'm not going to get into it all here right now. I've already related this story a number of times on this podcast, but I will leave a link in the description if this guy ever finds this podcast and hears me complaining about the stupid stuff that he said. Then he could go check out the full story, and if he wants to contact me personally, he could shoot me an email, and I'll sit down with him and I'll explain the whole thing to him, and then maybe I could change his mind. We could find out if he's stupid, or maybe he's genuinely stupid and he just needs an education. It could be that that's the case, right? It could be genuinely stupid about this whole phenomenon, and he needs an education on it, or maybe he's lying and he just wants to let things stand. I mean, that could be A or B, right? I mean, who knows? Anyway, moving on, I want to get caught up on some of the recent Spotify polls that I've conducted. We're going to start with the episode, Absolute Proof of Alien Presence on Earth, Perfect Antidote to Government UFO Lies. I asked this question: is the government aware that the Las Vegas alien incident evidence is impossible to dispute? 27 votes so far. 9 people, or 33.3%, say no, while 18 people, or 66.7%, say yes. Of course, I agree with the yeses on this one. I think the government is aware of it. They never commented on it. I've actually contacted the Pentagon about this, the Department of Energy, and more recently the UAP caucus, and no one's gotten back to me. They don't want to talk about this evidence because they know what it signifies. They know what it represents, and it's just too much. And I think, actually, I'll tell you what, I actually agree right now. I don't think we need disclosure. I don't know if that would be a good thing right now with everything that's going on in this world. This world needs to calm down a little bit, right? It needs to calm down a little bit, and then maybe we could talk about it. I don't know if telling the public the truth that there is aliens and UFOs are real and that the government's been lying to you all these years. I don't know if that's a good idea right now. I think maybe we need to, wait till things calm down a little bit. That's just me, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe we do. Maybe at the same time, I know there might be some people out there. Well, maybe that will wake people up. Well, maybe I don't. I doubt it, though. I think a lot of people are really stupid. Unfortunately, there's a lot of. I would say half the world is stupid. Let's just say that. Okay, for the episode, will disclosure be a boon or a curse for the UFO-tainment industry? I asked this question: should the UFO-tainment industry be afraid of the whole world being made aware that there is, in fact, an NHI presence here? 28 votes so far with 23 days left. Okay, 12 people, or 42.9%, say yes, while a majority, 16 people, or 57.1%, say no. I think I agree with the majority on this one. I don't think they should be afraid of it. I mean, it's just another step. I mean, you're still going to be able to talk about UFOs. There's still going to be a lot of mystery around it. I think that some people might be afraid of disclosure. People in the UFO-tainment industry might be afraid of it because they're concerned about what kind of an effect it will have on their careers, right? Because this is what they do. They talk about the mysteries of the alien creatures. Well, I don't think they should be afraid of it because there's still going to be mysteries no matter what, right? There's still going to be a lot of mystery. The people need to know the truth, right? Everyone needs to know the truth that we're not alone here. Okay. And then most recently, the episode Incredible UFO/Alien Abduction Event culminates with bizarre MIB encounter. Now, this was a fresh one, so there's only 12 votes so far. And the question is, was Dr. Herbert Hopkins' story about his MIB encounter true or false? Okay, I will revisit this one again because there's not a lot of votes in yet. But 3 people, or 25%, say it was false, while 9 people, or 75%, said it was true. Now, I didn't give a don't know on this on purpose because I said during the episode, I don't know if it's true or not. But you know what? If I was forced to give an answer, whether it was true or false, I'm going to go with true. I mean, the guy really did give a very detailed accounting of this guy showing up at his house. I mean, he did help this person who was abducted and to recall what happened when he was abducted. I think he was telling the truth. I mean, yeah, he could have been a drunk and he could have been a teller of tall tales, as his nephew stated. However, at the same time, that doesn't mean he was lying about every single thing. I don't think he was. I think it was true. I say it was true. Doesn't make me right, but that's where I'm going to hang my hat at. Anyway, hopefully there's not a World War III, tomorrow or anytime soon. And hopefully, if it does happen, I mean, if someone launches a nuclear weapon, a nuclear missile at another country, is there anything out there to prevent this from happening, or would these creatures that are here on this planet right now, would they just let it all play out? Let us all just destroy each other? What would they do? Well, we might find out. We might find out. Anyway, I want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me. Until next time.